Have you ever wrapped your arms around someone you love? A grandchild, an old friend, maybe even your partner, and for just a second you wondered, do I smell like the woman I feel I am, or the woman the world thinks I've become? I used to think getting older meant fading into the background, that people would stop noticing me, that my presence, my voice, even my scent would somehow soften into something forgettable. Until one day my granddaughter hugged me, pulled back, and said, "Grandma, you smell like cookies and sunshine." And in that one moment, I felt something shift. Because here's the truth they don't tell you. The way we smell, our scent, is part of how the world remembers us. It's memory, it's emotion, it's identity. And yes, as we age, our bodies change, our skin changes. And sometimes that change comes with a scent we never signed up for. But growing older doesn't mean we lose the right to feel beautiful or desirable or unforgettable. In fact, this chapter of life is when scent matters more than ever. In today's video, I'm going to share something personal, not just 5 perfumes, but 5 experiences, 5 secrets, and 5 reminders that you can still walk into a room and turn heads. Not because you're loud or flashy, but because you found a way to smell like confidence, warmth, and life itself. So if you've ever worried that time is making you invisible, stay with me, because you're not fading. You're just about to bloom in a whole new way. 1. Vie Est Belle, the scent of a woman who doesn't give up. Let me tell you about a scent that changed the way I walked through the world. It's called Vie Est Belle, French for life is beautiful. And I'll be honest with you, there was a time when I didn't believe that anymore. It was around my late 60s. I just retired, my social calendar had slowed to a trickle, and those quiet mornings that used to feel like a gift began to feel like a slow fade into the background. I was tired. Things hurt. The world seemed to be spinning a little too fast without me in it. One afternoon, I walked into a department store. I wasn't shopping for anything in particular, maybe just looking for a reminder that I still existed. A young woman at the fragrance counter smiled and handed me a sample card. I gave it a polite sniff. And suddenly, I smiled. Actually smiled. It was warm, floral, just a little sweet, like someone had bottled laughter and wrapped it in silk. That was Vie Est Belle, and in that moment, it didn't just smell good. It reminded me of who I was, not someone who was winding down, but someone who still had something to say, someone who still deserved to feel radiant. Let's talk about what makes this fragrance so special. It opens with juicy pear and black currant, fresh, vibrant like that first bite of fruit on a summer morning. Then comes the heart. Iris, jasmine, orange blossom, feminine, gentle, but not fragile. It's like a floral embrace. And finally, the base. My favorite part, vanilla, praline, and tonka bean, warm, comforting, softly sensual, like baking cookies in your best blouse, just because you feel good. But here's something even more fascinating. Studies have shown that vanilla and praline notes can actually help counteract the subtle changes in body chemistry that contribute to that musty scent we associate with aging. So this perfume doesn't just cover something up, it transforms it. One day, I wore it to my grandson's birthday party. He hugged me tight and said, "Grandma, you smell like cake and sparkles." And I swear to you, I held back tears. Because sometimes a scent isn't just a smell. It's a memory waiting to happen. It's a message we send without saying a word. Vie Est Belle is for the woman who's still showing up, still reaching out, still laughing loud at the dinner table. It's for you if you've ever wondered whether your story is still worth telling. And here's my little secret. Spray a bit on your wrists, behind your ears, and just a touch behind your knees. So when you walk, it follows you like a soft whisper of joy. Not loud, not overwhelming, just unforgettable. You see, life doesn't stop being beautiful at 60 or 70 or even 90. It just changes its rhythm. And if you let it, This fragrance will help you dance to that new beat with grace, pride, and maybe even a little sparkle. 2. Clean Reserve Skin, the soft power of scent. If Vie Est Belle is the scent of joy rediscovered, then Clean Reserve Skin is the scent of peace you never knew you needed. This isn't a perfume that walks into the room before you do. It's the kind of scent that makes someone lean in and say, "You smell like warmth." And that's exactly what it is. Warmth, softness, clean skin after a warm shower, a freshly laundered robe, the hug you never want to end. I first found this fragrance during a really quiet season of life. You know those weeks where the phone doesn't ring much, no one really needs anything from you, and even the mail feels thin? I was feeling a bit invisible, to be honest. And then one day, after a yoga class, I dabbed a little of this scent on my wrist. Nothing dramatic. Just a breath of something soft and cozy. That afternoon, I ran into a nurse I used to work with, young, smart, in her 20s. She leaned in, paused, and said, "You always smell like the safest place in the room." I laughed. Then I went home and cried a little. Because it wasn't just a compliment, it was a reminder that I still had presence, that I still mattered, that I could still feel like home to someone. Let's talk about what's inside this scent. There's tonka bean, salted praline, and fresh musk. No heavy florals, no synthetic sweetness. Just a light, natural warmth that melts into your skin and becomes part of you. It doesn't overpower. It doesn't mask. It enhances. And here's something important that a lot of people don't know. Our skin changes as we age. It gets drier, it holds scent differently, and sometimes that means we start to notice a faint, stale odor that wasn't there before. Clean Reserve Skin was made with that in mind. It reacts to body heat, so the warmer you get, the more alive you feel, the better it smells. I now keep a travel-size bottle in my purse. I use it after a walk, before a grocery run, or just when I want to feel pulled together for myself. It's hypoallergenic, cruelty-free, and perfect for women with asthma, allergies, or sensitive skin. No headaches, no heavy cloud of fragrance, just a light touch of you but cozier. This scent is for the woman who's done being told she needs to smell like flowers or fruit to be feminine. It's for the woman who wants to walk through the world smelling like comfort, like clarity, like calm. And sometimes that's more powerful than any bold statement ever could be. 3. Chanel No. 5, the timeless signature. Some perfumes are trendy, some are seasonal. And then there's Chanel No. 5. This isn't just a fragrance, it's a legacy, a quiet declaration that says, "I know who I am." And that kind of confidence, it doesn't come in your 20s. It's earned, over time, through loss, laughter, love, and 1,000 quiet victories no one else saw. I started wearing Chanel No. 5 in my early 30s because it made me feel like a grown woman. I wore it again at 50 when I needed to remember that I was more than just a caregiver or employee. I was still me. And now, in my 70s, it feels like armor. Not because I'm hiding anything, but because it helps me lead with grace, with depth, and with pride. Some people say it smells old, and I get it, because they've never really listened to it. Chanel No. 5 isn't old, it's eternal. Let's talk about what's in it. It's complex, a rich blend of aldehydes, those sparkling molecules that give it its fizzy, champagne-like opening, mixed with soft florals, gentle powdery notes, and a warm, musky base. It's not one thing, it's a story, a whole lifetime in a bottle. Here's the fascinating part. Those same aldehydes that make it sparkle, they also neutralize odor. That's not marketing, that's chemistry. As we age, our skin's lipid layer shifts and oxidation speeds up. That's where the faint old person smell comes from. Scientists even gave it a name, 2-nonenal. But Chanel No. 5? It cuts right through it. Not by masking, but by transforming. I remember wearing it to a formal dinner just last year. Long tables, candles flickering, that soft hum of conversation. A man, maybe mid-40s, leaned over and said, "You smell elegant." "What is that?" I smiled and said, "Just a little secret from 1921. Here's how I wear it now. I don't spray it directly on clothes. I mist it over a scarf, dab it on my wrists, or mix a drop into unscented body lotion. It lingers beautifully. It doesn't overpower. It doesn't try to make me younger. It honors my age while elevating everything I've become. Because here's the thing. Chanel No. 5 doesn't shout. It never has. It's the kind of scent that enters a room after you do and stays long after you leave. So if you've ever felt like you needed to reclaim your space, your story, your signature, this one's for you. It's not about nostalgia. It's about legacy, yours. 4. Jo Malone Peony and Blush Suede, the graceful whisper. Not every woman wants to make a grand entrance. Some of us prefer to glide in quietly, wrapped in elegance, saying everything with presence and nothing with noise. That's the kind of woman Peony and Blush Suede was made for. This fragrance doesn't shout. It doesn't beg for attention. It simply is, soft, graceful, unmistakably feminine. It reminds me of the kind of woman who always looks put together, even in jeans. The kind of woman who makes you feel calm just by standing next to her. When I first discovered this scent, it reminded me of walking barefoot in a flower garden at dawn. There's a freshness to it, a light, airy bloom from the peony, but also a warmth underneath, a touch of suede, like the feeling of your favorite cashmere sweater on a spring morning. But don't let the softness fool you. This is a perfume with real character. There's a note of red apple in the top that gives it a playful twist. Youthful, even a little mischievous. It's like the glimmer in your eye when someone assumes you're too old to be flirtatious. Surprise. I started wearing this on Sundays. Brunch with the girls, trips to the farmer's market, long afternoons spent reading by the window. I didn't think much of it until people started commenting. Often. A younger neighbor once stopped mid-conversation and said, "Oh my gosh, you always smell like sunshine and fresh linen. What is that?" Here's the beauty of this fragrance. It works with your skin as it matures. You see, the oils in our skin decrease as we age. That can make fragrances smell sharp, sour, or disappear altogether. But Peony and Blush Suede was made for that kind of skin. The suede note adds a creamy base that holds gently, without turning heavy or flat. I like to layer it too. A dab of vanilla body oil underneath makes it last even longer. Or I'll add a touch of shea butter first to lock in moisture before I spritz. Little rituals like that. They make scent more than a beauty step. They make it a self-care moment. This perfume is for the woman who doesn't need to be the center of the room, but who's always the one people gravitate toward. The woman who makes people feel safe, seen, and somehow nostalgic for a time they can't quite name. That's the power of a graceful whisper. It stays with you long after the conversation ends. 5. Narciso Rodriguez For Her, the quiet bombshell. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you walked into a room and someone turned to look? Not because you were loud or flashy, but because something about you felt magnetic. That's what Narciso Rodriguez For Her captures. It's not the scent of a girl trying to be noticed. It's the scent of a woman who's already lived 1,000 stories and doesn't need to tell them to be remembered. The first time I wore it, I didn't quite know what to expect. It didn't open with a burst of citrus or florals like most perfumes. Instead, it melted in slowly, warm, skin-like, quietly sensual. It was like slipping into a silk slip under a well-tailored coat. No one sees it, but you feel its power in every step. What makes it different? Musk. But not the overpowering kind. This is soft, clean, intimate musk. It's mixed with delicate rose, a touch of peach, a whisper of amber and patchouli, but all blended so smoothly you almost can't separate one from the other. It's not a fragrance you wear on your skin. It's a fragrance that becomes your skin. And here's the best part. Mature skin actually holds onto musk better. When we were younger, we leaned on bright citrusy scents that faded fast. But now, our skin chemistry allows musk to evolve slowly, revealing its layers throughout the day like a slow, soulful melody. I wore this once to a dinner party. Small group, soft jazz playing, low candlelight. I wasn't even the host, just there to enjoy a quiet evening. And about halfway through, a man 2 seats down leaned in, almost apologetically, and said, "I'm sorry, but is that you I'm smelling? I can't stop thinking about it." I laughed, and for a brief second, I forgot I had a knee replacement, bifocals, and a closet full of orthopedic shoes. In that moment, I felt like the woman I used to dream of being. Confident, mysterious, absolutely unforgettable. This perfume isn't for everyone, and that's exactly the point. It's not sweet, it's not floral, and it's definitely not trying to make you feel younger. It's designed for the woman who knows she's still a force, who doesn't need to shout because her silence already carries weight. Just 1 spritz is enough. 2, if you want to make someone wonder about you all night, and always apply it directly to your skin, never clothes, because this fragrance needs warmth to bloom. Narciso Rodriguez For Her isn't about age, it's about presence, and sometimes that's more powerful than anything youth can offer. 6. The ritual of scent. How to make fragrance a part of who you are. By now, you've heard about 5 beautiful fragrances, but let me tell you something just as important as the perfume itself. How you wear it matters just as much as what you wear. Scent isn't just something you spray and walk away from. For women like us, women who've lived, who've loved, who've carried the world on our shoulders, fragrance can be a ritual, a way to come back to ourselves. When I was younger, I used perfume like armor. A spray before work, a quick mist before a date. Fast, functional, forgettable. But these days, it's different. Now, fragrance is a part of how I begin my day, with intention, with care. Let me walk you through what I've learned. First, always start with moisture. Mature skin tends to be drier, and scent won't hold as well on dry skin. After your shower, while your skin is still slightly damp, apply an unscented lotion or body oil. Shea butter or almond oil work beautifully. This gives the fragrance something to grip onto. Then choose your pulse points wisely. We've all heard about the wrists and neck, but have you tried a tiny dab behind your knees, on your inner elbows, even along your collarbone? These areas radiate warmth and help diffuse your scent gently throughout the day. And here's a trick I swear by. Spritz a bit of your perfume onto a silk scarf. Not only does it hold the scent beautifully, but every time you move, you release just a whisper of fragrance behind you. It's subtle, sophisticated, unforgettable. I also rotate my scents depending on mood, not just occasion. On days when I need courage, I reach for Chanel. When I crave softness, I wear clean skin. When I want to feel seen, I choose Vie Est Belle. Fragrance becomes a reflection of how I want to feel, not just how I want to smell. And maybe the most powerful lesson of all, never wait for a special occasion to wear something beautiful. You are the occasion. That simple act of applying perfume in the morning, even if you're not going anywhere, it tells your body, your spirit, your reflection in the mirror, I still matter. I am still here. So don't treat your fragrance like an accessory. Make it part of your identity, a ritual, a signature, a love letter to yourself that lingers long after you leave the room. So, what does it all come down to? It's not just about perfumes. It's about presence, about refusing to disappear quietly into the background just because the world has decided your story is in its final chapters. Every fragrance I shared with you today isn't just a product. It's a feeling, a memory, a reminder that you are still vibrant, still complex, still very much alive, and that scent This invisible, powerful, emotional force can help you remember that. You don't have to wait for someone to give you flowers. You don't have to wait for a special dinner or an anniversary or a date. You are the moment. Every single day you wake up and choose to care for yourself is a day worth celebrating. And if all of this felt personal, it's because it is. I made this video for women like you, for women like us, women who've spent a lifetime taking care of others and are just now learning to turn that care inward. So tell me, what's your signature scent? Drop it in the comments. Let's create a space where we share not just perfume tips, but pieces of ourselves. And if you found something in this video that made you feel seen, I'd love for you to stick around. Subscribe to the channel. I share timeless advice, stories, and real talk for women over 60, because the world still needs your voice. Oh, and before you go, I put together a little free gift just for you. It's a downloadable guide called The Scent Ritual, 7 tips to help fragrance last longer on mature skin. It's full of simple, powerful tips to make your perfume not just last, but linger. You'll find the link in the description below. Until next time, stay radiant, stay grounded, and never stop smelling like exactly the woman you are.